In the winter of 1946, in the quiet hills near the Dead Sea, a young Bedouin shepherd named Muhammad Edadib was searching for a lost goat. The desert was still, the kind of stillness that settles over a place untouched for centuries. Somewhere along the limestone cliffs, he noticed a small opening in the rock, a cave, hidden and forgotten. Almost without thinking, he tossed a stone inside, expecting only an echo. Instead, he heard something else, a shattering sound, the sound of clay breaking. He had no way of knowing it yet, but that single moment, a thrown stone, a broken jar, would lead to one of the greatest archaeological discoveries in human history. Tonight, we drift gently into that story. Let your body relax, let your breathing slow, and let the desert wind carry you back to the caves of Qumran. Muhammad returned with his cousins, and together they climbed into the cave. Inside, they found tall clay jars, sealed with lids, standing quietly in the darkness, like they had been waiting. When they opened them, they found something strange. Not gold, not treasure, but rolls of ancient leather and parchment, wrapped carefully, covered in faded handwriting. They didn't understand what they had found. For a while, some of the scrolls were even sold in the marketplace in Bethlehem, passed from hand to hand, their true value unknown. It would take scholars, historians, and archaeologists years to understand what these fragile scrolls truly were, and just how old they really were. As the desert night deepens around us, imagine that same quiet cave, the cool stone walls, the scent of dust and dry parchment. Nothing rushed, nothing urgent, just an ancient secret, waiting patiently to be understood. Eventually, the scrolls made their way to scholars, and what they revealed left the world breathless. These were not ordinary documents. Some were copies of the Hebrew Bible, over 1,000 years older than any biblical text known before. Others were community writings, hymns, prophecies, and rules for daily life, believed to belong to a Jewish sect known as the Essenes, who may have lived in the nearby settlement of Qumran. In total, over 900 manuscripts were eventually found across 11 caves, hidden away roughly 2,000 years ago. Think about that for a moment. 2,000 years of silence, sealed inside clay, untouched by time, waiting in the dry desert air that preserved them so perfectly. As you rest tonight, picture those jars lined up in the dark, patient and still, holding words written by hands that turned to dust centuries ago. There is something deeply peaceful in that thought, that some things survive, quietly, long after everything else has gone. For decades, scholars have asked the same question, again and again. Who hid these scrolls, and why? The most accepted theory points to the Essenes, a quiet, devout Jewish community who may have lived at Qumran, choosing a simple life away from the politics of Jerusalem. Some believe that as Roman armies advanced through the region around 68 CE, threatening everything they held sacred, the Essenes gathered their most precious texts and hid them in the surrounding caves for safekeeping. Perhaps they meant to return one day. Perhaps they never got the chance. But not everyone agrees. Some researchers believe the scrolls didn't belong to one isolated group at all, but were brought from libraries in Jerusalem, hidden for protection during a time of war and uncertainty. There is no single answer, only fragments, whispers of a plan made in urgency 2,000 years ago. And in that uncertainty, there is something oddly calming. Not every mystery needs to be solved to be understood. Some are simply meant to be sat with, quietly, the way you're sitting with this story now. Even today, questions linger in the desert air. Why were the jars sealed so carefully? Why were some scrolls written in code, using strange, unfamiliar symbols instead of ordinary script? Some researchers believe these coded texts held instructions for community rituals, meant only for the initiated. Others wonder if they concealed something more. Locations, treasures, secrets never meant to be read by outsiders. There's also the matter of missing scrolls, texts referenced within the collection itself that have never been found. Somewhere out there, in caves not yet discovered, or lost entirely to time, more of this story may still be waiting. But for tonight, we don't need every answer. We only need to sit with the wonder of it. The wonder of hands centuries ago, choosing to preserve their words for a future they would never see. That future is us. The Dead Sea Scrolls still rest today in careful climate-controlled vaults, protected the way they once were by dry desert air and sealed clay jars. Scholars continue to study them, slowly, patiently, piecing together fragments the way you might piece together a dream upon waking. But for now, let the desert go quiet. Let the caves settle back into shadow. Somewhere in the hills above the Dead Sea, the wind still moves gently over stone, over sand, over secrets that took 2,000 years to be heard. You don't need to hold on to anything else tonight. Just let go and rest the way those scrolls rested, safe and unhurried, for centuries in the dark.